Folks, we got a great show today. Frankie Borelli III is back from London. We're going to talk all about that. One of my favorite cities I've ever been to. I'm sure he's got a lot of great things to say. We've also got 4 TGL matches to talk about. We had a triple header on Monday, President's Day. Tiger Woods back on Tuesday night, TGL Tuesday. So we got a bunch of that to get to. Plus, we've got USA Canada. We got another plane issue going from the United States to Canada. So we got a lot to talk about. We're going to try to do a couple segments, closest to, maybe a couple voicemails. So it's a great show, all brought to you by our very good friends at Chevrolet and the Equinox EV. Golf season's quickly approaching all over the place. I know it might not feel like it everywhere, but guess what? It's coming. I heard mentions of Augusta National, ramping up for Augusta. People were being interviewed at TGL about that. Golf season's approaching. Chevy wants to help you make the most of every single drive. The all-electric Equinox EV's got it all, a roomy interior, advanced safety features. It's got the distance you're looking for with an available EPA estimated 319 miles of range on a full charge. Actual range may vary based on several factors. The best in class, big old 17.7-inch diagonal standard touchscreen display. Check it all out at Chevy.com/Equinox EV to check out product info, lease offers, amazing deals, the whole thing. Go check it out at that link. That is Chevy.com/Equinox EV. Let's have a great show. The gang is back. We're kind of traveling all over. People are filming different videos. So we're going to kind of piece this whole thing together, but you're going to hear from Frankie. You're going to hear from the gang. Let's do it. Chevrolet together. Let's drive.
He's just like, all right, I'm going to hit this 56 degree wedge, 99 yards, which he did. He hit it 99 yards on the button, by the way. Shout out to our guy, Tiger Woods. Those wedges are dialed.
Fore-play, right? Barstool Sports. We got Frankie has returned. A lot of travel going on with the Fore-play crew all week. I'm sure Frankie's jet lagged. He already mentioned that beforehand, but there's a lot to get to from travel, London, plane issues, just in general around North America, which we don't like to see. TGL, all kinds of matchups, USA, Canada. So we got a lot to get to, but welcome back there, Frankie.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, an amazing, I'll get right into it because I missed the last show. An amazing place London is. I was there from Thursday or Wednesday night. We took off from JFK out to London to Heathrow with my wife and my parents. This is something becoming a little bit of a tradition now. Taking my parents away for Christmas, surprising them with the last gift that we hand them is usually an envelope that has some sort of clip art image of we're going to Ireland or we're going to London. And for me, man, it's so sorry, I'm talking about flights. My flight got delayed again for the one we're going out to West Palm Beach. Just bad flight stuff right now. No, it's just it's a rewarding feeling, but it's also just we were talking about this last night. It's like it seems to be like the only thing that I like strive to want to do right now with like we're getting successful with this brand and you get some, more money than you used to have or whatever it might be. And like, we can have a house and we're about to have a kid. It's like, we have a job, we have a career here and it's like fun. Like, I started this job as a 21-year-old kid making like $45,000, basically losing money, traveling into the city every single day. New York City was an absolute nightmare. Then got an apartment with my buddies. I was losing money on that. Like there was never a time where you could actually have money to spend on people for a long time. You were just grinding. And now it's like the only thing that actually brings me joy is like experiencing things with my family who's always done stuff for me. Like genuinely, it's my favorite thing in the world to be able to go to my dad who works 361 days a year. The 4 days that he gets to go on vacation are the only days he gets to get off the restaurant. It'd be like, you don't have to worry about anything this week. I got you. And like that to me is like the best feeling in the world. Watching my parents, who you never think about your parents as this, but like they're you, like they're people, like they were 21 years old one time, they were 30 years old. I'm going to be hopefully 66 years old one day, like with the same thoughts and feelings and excitement about like traveling to new places. And like, you think of your parents as just like your old parents, but like they are excited to go to London and see new buildings and try new drinks and try new dinners. And the fact that I get to bring them to that, to me, me and my wife, we were getting like emotional about it, talking about it, that like we are in the position to be able to do something like that. Because they have worked their whole lives doing stuff for us. I'm sure this story is the most common thing ever, right? Parents are the best. They're just selfless and devoted to just like your life. Like when you have a kid, your life is now devoted to that person. So to be able to give back to them is awesome. And it was just a great weekend. My buddy Kyle, who's the best man at my wedding, him and his fiance Annette moved out, which is Robbie Berger's cousin, by the way. So I was talking about the connection. We stayed with them for the first 2 nights, and my parents stayed at this hotel, the Langham, which was beautiful. It was awesome. It was right there. The thing that I loved is we stayed like in like a neighborhood of London first. That was our first experience of it. It wasn't like the Big Ben and all the touristy stuff. It was like my buddy's flat, like in Marylebone, whatever you say, across from like the courthouse that, Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr got married at. And like it was very like local, and all the restaurants that we went to were very like
you were kind of like staying in.
And it was beautiful. It was like really, really beautiful area. Like all the great restaurants. It's almost like staying in the West Village. Like you're just like, okay, like this is like, it's not Times Square. It's, low rise buildings. You've got really great restaurants, and all the restaurants that we went to were like, if you were living in London, if you were a London resident, going to the restaurants that we went to were like hard to get into, like local gems that like you had on your list. Like, oh, we got to go try that. Even you in Scottsdale, you're like, oh, there's a couple restaurants that like I'd love to try and get to one night. Like we hit those as tourists. So like that was really cool. Every person in the restaurant was a London local native. So we really, really enjoyed it. We had Indian one night at this place, the Tamil Crown. It was like 35 minutes outside of the city. Basically, like, I think a lot of like the finance bros live out there. It's like not in the city, but they can get to their job early and, easy enough from this town. So it was like, it's just this one Indian spot in the middle of just like flats and houses. So you're like, this has to be legit. And you walk in, they're making I don't know any of the stuff I ate. I know nothing, but like they just threw a bunch of stuff on the table. It wasn't too spicy. To me, it was like a Mediterranean, like fajita. You're just putting like steak, and you're putting like lamb and fucking chicken and shrimp all in like this tortilla that they make right in front of you. And like you're putting in all these types of juices. And Trent's not on the show right now. He'll be on later, but like he'd be getting rock hard right now listening to this stuff. Like just really, really good stuff. And then, I don't know. It's just, it's a great city. It's New York City-esque with a lot of history and beauty. Not to say New York City doesn't have any of that, excuse me. But, you look at one building and it's like the Tower of London, and it's got like jewels and crowns inside there. And then the next building looks like it's out of a Marvel movie. It's like a huge, modern, ridiculous architecture building. And like, that's a very cool concept to have in a city where it's like, the contrast of 1,000-year-old building and a building that's like in Forbes for the best architecture in new modern society, having that right next to each other is a really cool thing. So I loved it, man. I really loved it.
How did you do on your outfits? I know the outfits in London.
Yeah, I mailed it in, I would say. Like I got a couple nice things, but it was cold, so like there was a lot of like bundling up, and like you didn't really care what you looked like. Like my parents looked good. My dad always had like a collared shirt with a sweater over, and he had this nice pants on. I was kind of like wearing my cool guy clothes, like those baggy pants I wear all the time now, and just like a big puffy jacket. Because at some point you just wanted to like survive on the street. You were just like so cold that you were just like, we got to get to the bar or the pub, whatever they call it. So yeah, the outfits weren't great. Like I didn't nail it. That's something I probably regret. But there was a lot of drinking involved.
How was the play?
We went to go see The Lion King. Just another unbelievable experience, bro. At these theaters, it's at the end of this huge theater district, which looks like it's out of a movie set. Like just like all these huge buildings hanging over, almost like Diagon Alley. Like just huge buildings like sticking out on this curvy road, and each one is like, all these iconic plays, the Phantom of the Opera, Mamma Mia, and then at the end is this huge grand Roman building style with huge columns. This is The Lion King since 1998, sold out every single night that they've ever played since like the 90s when they started. Huge, grand, beautiful ballroom. You walk in. The thing that blew my mind was you walked in, no security really. They didn't wand you at all, which was a little scary. But you walk up to the bar, and like all these people are dressed up nice, and like they're all like ready to go see The Lion King, which is an iconic show. And you go up to the bar and you're like, all right, I'm about to get hosed, right? Because like they're like, oh, we should get a drink before. And my dad's like, let's just go early and like we'll drink at the bar there. I'm like, we're about to get hosed on prices here, like $30 drinks, right? Like, because you go to UBS Arena or all these places in the United States, if you go to like a show, especially a play or a hockey game or baseball game, beers are $18, and like it's crazy. We show up there and people are getting bottles of champagne. And like, let's say you ask for a champagne, they're giving you the bottle and 2 glasses, 2 flutes, and you take it back to your seat. Like they're giving out bottles, and it was like $15. Like we got 4 drinks. Me and my dad both got 2. We got 5 drinks sitting down at the table because Hannah's always not drinking. And it was like $32. I'm like, this is the greatest place on earth. I don't understand. It's a major city. I don't understand why this is so well priced. And they're handing you like bottles, glass. Like it wasn't like, they don't trust us in America. You go to a hockey game, they take the cap off your water. Everything's plastic cups. Dude, this was full bottles of champagne. People are pouring glasses. I'm hearing people cheersing. The play was fantastic. If you've never seen The Lion King, I don't want to give anything away. I will say sit on the floor and maybe get one of the aisle seats. It's a very cool experience, the way that they do the whole entire show. Just phenomenal. Great story. You know what The Lion King is when you're going there, but still to see those performances it's like powerful. Like you're watching people at the best of their ability sing these outrageous ballads about, and it's an Elton John written play. So all these songs are unbelievable. I will say, Can You Feel the Love Tonight playing on Valentine's Day hit a little bit different. There's a lot of tears in the building, a lot of people kissing their significant others around. Wow. It was Valentine's Day. Can you feel the love tonight? The way that they're singing it, and the whole theater got red. It was cool, man. It gives me the chills just thinking about it. So that was great. We stayed in the Marrowbone. I'm probably butchering that town. And then we stayed at this hotel, the Marriott, which is, if you guys have ever heard of the Marriott, but the Marriott is it's called Marriott County Hall, and it's such an iconic hotel that it's actually part of the sightseeing of London, like on the water. I guess it's the Thames River. I wanted to call it the Thames, but I think it's called the Thames. I know. But you got the huge London Eye, the Ferris wheel, and then on the other side you've got Big Ben, which, Frankie fact, Big Ben is actually the name of the bell. It's not the name of the tower.
Really?
So it's a 13-ton bell, which is outrageous, and the tower is the Queen Elizabeth Tower, the Elizabeth Tower, I believe it's called. So everyone's like, "Oh, let's go see Big Ben." You're actually talking about the bell that chimes every hour and every half hour. So
13-ton bell. How the hell do you get that up there?
I have no idea.
Jesus.
I have no idea. Some sort of wizard from Hogwarts or something probably bought it up there. But the Harry Potter references. Every time I saw a double-decker red bus, I did the whole take it away, Ern. The part in Order of the Phoenix where he rides it and it slips in between. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. Yeah, take it away, Ern. So I love every time I saw one, I did it. That guy hitting the fucking lever and then they get skinny. So yeah, we stayed at that County Hall hotel, and our room, which again wasn't like overly expensive. You think of a really, really nice, you go to a city, you go to Paris, you want to have a hotel overlooking the Eiffel Tower. You go to New York City to have a hotel overlooking maybe the Statue of Liberty would be like iconic. You go to Boston, you want to see, I don't know, maybe like that bridge in Boston, like by the TD Garden, or, something that's like visually, maybe you're looking into Fenway or something that like you think of that city, the hotel right there would be iconic. Our hotel was looking at Big Ben. I'll just say Big Ben. You're looking at Big Ben, the Parliament building, and the river, and the London Eye, which comes all the way around. And you'd think that would be like 20 grand a night. It's like, I don't know what it was. It was like $400. You know what I mean? It was just like a hotel. No problem. It was a regular hotel room with a Big Ben view. Now we aren't going in like the peak time, and I don't want to pump these guys too much because I was arguing with them most of the time. It's not like they were the nicest people to me.
What were we arguing? What was there?
My parents' room had like a weird smell. And like we thought maybe it was like the river, but then like my room was like 2 doors down. I'm like, well, our room doesn't smell from the river, so obviously something backed up into your room. So much so that like the cleaning person came in and was like, "Yeah, you guys should probably move the room." And that whole move the room process was like the worst thing that's ever happened to anyone. It was like 11:30 at night. We had just come back from like the show where everyone's like drunk, and like they're putting them in this room. It was basically a closet. So I'm like, well, we only have like 3 nights here, so like one of the nights is in a closet. Like, how is that like fair to anyone? You know what I mean? Like we could have just stayed in the other hotel, which is incredible. Whatever. It was a whole thing. Our room was great. And they were very nice towards the end, but I think I got the wrong guy at the front desk. He didn't really want me to have a good time. I don't think.
Did you try to overstep him at any point? You tried to be
never. No, it was just I was like, yeah, no, not really. He just genuinely didn't care if we had a good time. He was I think he was having a bad day. But amazing hotel, great stuff, great view. So yeah, it was good. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be very, very fast paced and city and cars buzzing by, but it was relaxing. We took a boat all the way up to go see the Tower of London, and you get to see all the old jewels, which are just outrageous. It's another thing. It's you're walking around this old castle, and they protect all the jewels in there. So all the crowns of all the kings and queens that have worn them, and all of their what are those things called? It starts with an S.
Staff.
They hold them. Yeah, I guess it's a staff. There's another word for it though. God, it's not a spear. It's not a spire. Damn, maybe Alex Bush can look it up. It's a crown and something. It's a crown and something that
I know
they
what
hold.
you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Got a lot of nice stuff on it, right? I usually got a lot of nice stuff on that thing.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. So, and you start to walk around, you're like, why did they need all of this, the royal family? That's a whole nother debate, right? How amazing amount of stuff they have, and how they had the world's largest diamond in there. In this huge scepter. There it is.
Scepter.
It's very lavish. It's it's outrageous. It's just you're looking at these things that you've never seen before, the way that they're glistening, and I loved it. I love the crown.
God, I'm looking at some scepters right now. Some of these scepters are outrageous. Dude, these things are sick.
Yeah, I snuck a couple pictures in there, which you're not allowed to do, but I was standing there like this. And then we did Abbey Road, which was a lot of fun. We got to walk Abbey Road, which was chaos because it's just a road. So the locals are just trying to drive, and there's I don't know why they haven't put in a stoplight or a stop sign, but cars are whizzing by, and you got to run out there, take the photo, and go. And everyone's trying to do it at the same time. So you've got all these different nationalities of people, right? You got people from China, you got people from India, you got people from East Meadow, New York, all trying to get that photo by themselves, and no one knows how to communicate with each other. You're trying to make hand signals, you're trying to give each other the eyes, being we're gonna go, we'll take a photo of you. And then there's cars coming by. They're coming from the wrong side of the road to us, so you're not even looking right because cars are coming that way, and it's just chaos. But we ended up finding the right time. We got a bunch of photos. It was fun. It was just a great time to be. Aside from the actual things that we got to do, just getting away with the parents. I opened this thing up is the most important thing. I can't wait to do it again. I don't know when the next time I'm gonna be able to do it. I got the baby coming, so that was kind of not a daunting feeling. That's probably the wrong word when you're about to have a kid, but it was all right, this might be another 2 years before we get to do this again. We're obviously going to have a lot of exciting things up until then.
You're adding an enormous responsibility to your day-to-day life, as big as it gets, really. You keep a personal life.
As the days went by, you're counting down. It's all right, it's we're going to think back to this trip as this was the last one before, we were, family of 2 and 4 people going on a trip. So yeah, it was fun. So I've been rambling for 18 minutes here, but I definitely recommend.
I like the message of I think about that a lot too with the shared experiences. The coolest part about the shared experiences is that is sort of the compounding excitement and how much you can feel that. Whereas if you go out and you do something, whatever, if you're feeling a little success, good about yourself, you go out and buy a car. You're so jacked up, sure, good for you, but the car is not excited. You don't feel anything about the car's end of things. Totally. Whereas, dude, you go do a trip, and the number one thing that we probably relate it to here on the show for folks is golf trips. But it's you do anything like that where you're able to set stuff up with our connections in the golf world, get kind of a hookup, put everything together, happy to drive the ship when it comes to putting something together. And then you get everybody there. You can if you got a 4-person trip even, you could feel as excited as you are. The other people are more excited. And then when you get everybody together and as everybody's sitting around feeling and thinking, and they're I always envision your dad does this. And you talked about it during your big Cedar trip, your dad being this is the best day I've ever been alive for. And
yeah,
everyone's kind of feeling that at the same time. And you as a human, I feel that's kind of what makes us different. You can feel that. You can feel that from other people, even if people aren't saying it. And it makes you way more fulfilled, happy, whatever, in such a real, emotional, visceral way of holy fuck, I'm having so much fun. Like, I think these people are even having more fun. And that's all because we're here together. And then you talk about that experience forever. You'll share those pictures forever. And so, yeah, I don't know if it's more like, I feel like it is more of our generation now is like people are spending their money on experiences versus kind of materialistic things, or maybe we're just that point in our lives. But I felt like when you said that off the top, that really spoke to me too, of like, those are the things that stick out. Those are the things that you can, in the future, even months, years beyond, when that trip, vacation, whatever it is over, like you can still feel that moment of like, God, when we were sitting there and we were laughing, this guy was doing the story he always tells or the joke or whatever. And you can like bring yourself back into that moment. And you could feel that in real time of like, oh, I'm experiencing the thing right now. This is so awesome. And I just think like that compounding happiness of everybody in those moments is such a thing that everybody can kind of feel of like, oh, wow, this is more powerful than just like me having a good time. This is awesome.
Yeah, really, it means a lot. It makes you feel really good. It also just makes the people that you love feel really good. It makes them feel loved. It makes them feel like someone's looking after them as well. They've done that their whole entire lives for us, and even our friends. Like they're always, to be able to do things for people. It's awesome. So, we've definitely had some, strikes of success here in the last couple of years, and I never went out and bought a watch or a nice car or whatever for some reason. I don't know what it is. Like you're saying with the golf trips, like the first thing I think of, if we get a bonus or something, first thing I think of is like, where can we take our parents? Where can I take where can we go? Where are we going? Like what's going to be like, now that we have some money in the bank, what's going to be the thing that we can spend? Like, where are we going that we can spend it so that it's like a once in a lifetime experience? And that's the only thing that drives me. Like I'm already, like I said to you just now, I'm pissed I can't do it next year, even though I'm gonna be having a kid. I'm like, I'm already thinking, oh, well, maybe we could do something local. We'll drive you to this nice spa or whatever. I don't know. It's just, it's like the thing I look forward to the most. And my parents are so appreciative and they're so much fun to travel with. That's the other thing. It's like, if they were boring, I wouldn't do any of this shit, but it's like, they're great. My dad's freaking a nightmare up there. He's just making us laugh. He's out of control. So it's a good time. Glad to be back, but we're back on the road. We're heading to Florida today. A couple of us are going down to do a little rematch with Jon Gruden. I know that they already, I don't know if you guys talked about that on the last show, but
we didn't really touch on it much. No, we hadn't really jumped on it.
We asked Gruden to just, we did a great video with him, and then we're like, we got to do a rematch. He's obviously the most electric guy at Barstool right now. And we're like, grab a couple guys in this town, because in the video at Avila, he's like, everyone lives in here. Aaron Judge lives in here. All the guys from my Super Bowl team live in here. All the, Tony Dungy, all these guys live in this community. And we're like, grab like a team of 4, and like we'll do something. Grab a team of 3, grab a team of 4, whoever's around. Let's just do something. And he's like, all right, I got you. And apparently he's picked like 4 Hall of Famers to play against us tomorrow on Thursday at Avila. So I think we got like Warren Sapp, Rondé Barber, Derek Brooks. So it's like these guys are all in the hall. So it's insane. It should be a lot of fun. It's going to be an outrageous scene. You got Beef in the mix, Jersey Jerry. It'll be good. So we're going down for that. We also got another, I think we're playing against like Sauce Gardner tomorrow, which for me as a Jets fan is insane. I think Brendan Jones set that thing up while he was cradling a baby. He's coming on his first show of the year, his first trip of the year this week. So that'll be fun.
That guy's obsessed with golf. Do you remember what was that last summer? I feel like where he just went crazy and he was tweeting
Put the simulator
out,
in his basement.
He was just tweeting out like in real time all the things that everybody goes through with golf, being like, God damn, this shit is insane. Yeah, Jonesy will be back. We haven't seen that.
Jonesy's back in the grind. When he texted me that, I was like, wow, you're in the mix. So that'll be good. A couple days away, and it'll probably be good. He's probably been driving himself crazy at home for this long. He's still been editing like crazy, like a madman, because we have so many videos. But yeah, no, it's good to be back in the mix for sure. I'll say one thing. Like my buddy Kyle that lives out there, I don't know. He has to just give up American society. Like the time change is so outrageous. You're 5 hours ahead of New York. So like everything that happens from 5 o'clock on, you're done. Bro, USA Canada, which we can get to. I know we got to get to the TGL. I had to watch that at 3 o'clock in the morning. And then the next morning, we went to church at Westminster Abbey, which was like right across from our hotel, like
awesome
at 7 a.m. So I had to go to Westminster Abbey at like on 3 hours sleep because of this hockey game that I couldn't miss because it was an all-time hockey game, which is one of the greatest hockey games of all time. Like I asked him, like, how do you keep up with the island? He's an Islander. How do you keep up with this? He goes, I just don't live there anymore. I like everything about there. I don't do it anymore. You know, college football is a nice time because he gets to watch. He's an Alabama fan. He gets to watch Alabama at like 4:00 in the afternoon as opposed to 12.
Yeah, but anything that starts in prime time, you're fucked.
You are so fucked. You're going to bed at 5. You're going to bed at 10 o'clock. Everything. People aren't even home from work yet in the States, let alone things are happening on TV. So that to me was a huge transition. I was like kind of driving myself insane, getting text messages from like my family members that were back home. You know, they're texting me at 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, what are they doing? And to them, it's like 10 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night. They're like, there's no problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
in the middle of a normal
kind of laying down a couch,
weekend,
just finished dinner. Yeah, it's Friday night. It's 9 o'clock. They're texting us. I'm like, what are you, nuts? So that part was outrageous.
You have to have a great pair of jeans. That's just a fact. This is America. This is the United States of America. If you're going to roll around as a respected human being, you got to have an excellent pair of jeans. And it's 2025. Technology is good enough now. You don't have to just have some rugged, grindy pair of jeans that you get by with. They can be incredibly comfortable and still a great jean. The perfect jean. That's who we're talking about. Life's too short for denim that fights you every step of the way. These jeans from the perfect jean, and I've got a pair. They move with you, not against you, whether you're chasing kids around, tackling chores, or just chilling like a boss. They're going to fit you great. Over 400,000 old, young, big, and small men agree on the perfect jean. Imagine denim so stretchy, it's yoga ready. That is what this feels like. Sharp enough to turn heads and comfy enough you'll forget you're wearing them up until somebody compliments you. And then you're going to remember, again, the experience getting these things ready to rock for you. It's very, very simple. For a limited time, our listeners get 15% off your first order plus free shipping at theperfectjean.nyc or Google The Perfect Jean and use our code. It's 415 for 15% off. FORE15. Bang. 15% off. That is 15% off for new customers at theperfectjean.nyc with promo code 415. After you purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show, our program, the fellas here, and tell them that we sent you. Fuck your khakis and get the perfect jean. Look, golf's supposed to be simple, not in terms of the game, but in terms of the experience. You're supposed to be out there. You're supposed to be getting away. You're supposed to be on like a little mini vacation, kind of a staycation with your buddies, your gals, whatever your crew is, all kinds of stuff get in the way. Maybe somebody's late. Maybe they're behind on tee times. Maybe the group in front of you, behind you, whatever is kind of annoying you. Maybe your own golf game's annoying you. Maybe the weather's annoying you. Fireball. Fireball is going to take all that out of it. No issues with Fireball. It's going to make everybody have a better time, laugh, be jolly out there, enjoy yourselves. The Fireball 50 milliliter shooters are the perfect shot for the golf course. You sneak a bunch in your bag if you want. They're ready to go whenever you need them. If the beverage cart rolls around, purchase a couple from them. There's no shot glass, no chaser. You just crack them, knock them back. Boom. You're in heaven. You're having yourself a great time. The iconic cinnamon flavored whiskey tastes fire, goes down easy. It's the ultimate crowd pleaser. It gets everybody going. You do it after a birdie. I know it's one of Frankie's favorite things. You do it after a par. You do it after a bogey. I don't really care what you do. Just do it. It's going to be a really good time. And even if it's not the golf course, at the bar, at home, maybe you're playing a little trivia game, just get those 50 milliliter shooters, those nips out, pass them around, and people are going to be up in the ante. They're going to be having themselves a great time. You're really feeling like upping that ante on the course around a social setting this weekend, make sure to grab the new Fireball Birdie Shot Club. It is literally a golf club filled with Fireball nips, but go check them out, purchase them, drink them. You're going to have a great time with the Fireball 50 milliliter shooters.
I unfortunately too yesterday's flight I didn't get to watch any of the TGL, but I saw all the clips. What a day of TGL that was. Tommy Fleetwood?
Look, a lot of people have been saying the first night ever of TGL, they've got a little bit of the excitement because it's night one. The second week, they had the excitement because it was Tiger Woods playing. A couple weeks later, they still had a little bit of excitement they could lean on because Tiger versus Rory was going on and whatnot. How is it really going to survive on a week in, week out basis Maybe they just got lucky. Maybe it's a concoction of like all the good matches. Maybe they figured out the formatting a little bit better with the hammers. Whatever it was, that was fucking great on Monday. It was great from match to match to match. I was just sitting around the house the entire day. I was doing a lot of just chores, cleaning, laundry, getting stuff together for the week for work. And I had it on pretty much the entire day in the background. And it was fantastic. The one match with Fleetwood and JT coming down to the wire. It was the Atlanta team was down 3. They throw the hammer at the right time, which was perfect. End up winning that hole to get 2 points, and then hit another one close, win that hole. But then you think they're gonna win that hole. Tommy Fleetwood makes a putt from like 17 feet down the hill to keep the 1-up lead. Then JT flubs a chip, then holes a chip while he's like talking about it in real time. Like after he flubbed it, he's like, "Come on, JT, this is how you make up for that. Let's go." And then holes it. Everybody goes crazy. And then, the closest to the pin in a chip off type thing, you're not really sure as a viewer, is like that really justify kind of a win after they play for 2 hours? We're going to be closest to that format has been great. It's like you're watching guys fly it all the way there and nip it like JT did. Then you watch Tommy Fleetwood come up. He has to get it inside of like 6 or 7 feet. He fucking makes it as the second guy to keep the whole thing alive. And then everybody's thinking, like, did they just win? Like, isn't that a win if they do that with the walk-off? Instead, ends up going down to Cantlay, hits one in there tight, and they end up winning. Both teams get a point. The other team gets 2 points. So it's like as much of a win-win as you could have. And then the next 2 matches were just as close. They were like, came down to the wire. Again, the strategy with the hammers, they finally figured that whole thing out. And it was just really entertaining. Like the clips were doing well on social. I saw them all over the place. I thought that they've really kind of figured out the balance with like trying to be entertaining, air quotes, which is right, whatever the hell that is, depending on your personality, versus like the golf just kind of delivers on its own. It's like guys are standing on the tee, and yeah, some of the holes, we've gone over the holes, but it's like on the one par 5 that they keep bringing in really late with the canyons everywhere, it's like they're hitting it at this island. I get it, it's like 60 yards wide or whatever, but like if they just hit a pretty shitty tee shot, which happens in golf all the time, they're just out of the hole. They're going to hit it the fucking canyon out of bounds. They pipe it up there, and then it all comes down to the short game and the bunker, which clearly that bunker is giving everybody problems. We saw Hip leave one in the bunker and blade one across. We've seen all kinds of crazy. Tiger did it. Kiz did it. We've seen all kinds of crazy bunker shots. So it's like just hard enough around the greens that it's keeping it really interesting. So, yeah, I thought for, again, a simulator league that's now, whatever it is, a month and a half into this thing, where you really figured this might be the point. They didn't have Tiger all day Monday. This could be when they really lose a lot of momentum. I thought they picked up a ton of momentum, and it was just incredibly entertaining, start to finish. It really was.
Yeah, the clip. So for me, when I didn't get a chance all day to sit down and watch it, because it was a triple header, it's President's Day, it's perfect time for it. There's really not much on. For me, it's just seeing it on Twitter and on Instagram and just like being able to check in here and there. You're falling asleep on the plane, you're waking up, you're checking your social media, seeing all the clips and being able to go through all these threads of how many moments there actually were. That's where, and Trent talks about this all the time, that's where you're able to see, is something working? Does it have the juice? We are definitely in the mix of the algorithm that would see this stuff for sure. Like no matter what, even if it was getting 5,000 views, we'd be getting fed all of these clips because we're a part of it. We've got great jerseys on sale on their website and in their arena, which all look out of control good, by the way. They're doing a great giveaway right now on Twitter where, and I guess it doesn't matter if you're listening to this because it was 2 days ago, but they're doing great giveaways with the jerseys. If there's a hole in one, you're going to be able to pick a jersey. Yeah, it already happened. So you just get the sense that there is this real big momentum week to week now. People are starting to get into the format. They're realizing that the matches can be close. The first couple were blowouts. There's nothing you can do about that. They've changed the format with the 3 hammers now. Maybe they'll even change it where if you chip in on a overtime shot that you automatically win, because that would be really cool. So yeah, I think that they're really finding their groove. The players are definitely bought in. Now, I didn't get a chance to watch the whole entire thing, but it seemed like the reactions were true and they were honest and they were actually genuine, right? Like there was real excitement when you hit good shots. There was real down, a lot of moping around when there were bad shots. Tommy Fleetwood making a hole in one, a par 4 off a rock during the practice round, and then almost making one in the actual round, awesome. And then chipping in. Like that guy's just finding the hole inside that arena, which is nuts. And yeah, it was just from the outside looking in, from just a casual social media viewer, it was a great day. It was awesome to see that it's making that much waves on social media, and I just think that's a huge plus for the league, because that's the stuff that really resonates with this generation. That is when you're coming up with a new league and you're coming up with a new format. And yes, you're on ESPN. Yes, you're in prime time. You're trying to get all those viewers, but you're really trying to generate moments like this. That's all you actually care about. This is for our business too. Like, we can go out and do a video and there might be 18 holes where nothing really happens. And sure, we get our video done. It goes on YouTube. It gets a couple 100,000 views. Our job is done in that sense, but that's not what we're searching for. We're searching for that big moment. What's going to get talked about? What's going to circulate amongst the Barstool crowd? What's going to go viral? Is Trent going to make a hole in one today? Are we going to hole out from a bunker like that? Bob knows that. Good knows that. They know that that's the business. So for golf to be able to build this arena where there are huge moments, they've gotten rid of all the boring shit. They've gotten rid of all of it. The drives are all the drives. Like, we want balls going into holes. We want chip outs. We want long putts. We want huge moments, and they're generating them. Like, you can say whatever you want. If you're like a PGA Tour hater, a live lover, whatever it might be, these are just fun moments in the game of golf. I don't know what else to tell you. The stuff that I'm seeing is fun. That's good for the game on a Monday, in a sport that's always been Thursday through Sunday and barely even Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I don't know. I think it's great. I think it's really finding its footing, and I think the more. And then you got Tiger now, so it's like that was a Tigerless day. That was a Tigerless day, and that's as good as it can get. Come on.
It's also so I heard, I think it was Eamon Lynch, who I like. I was texting him, giving him a little bit of shit about it today because he's up there on Golf Today on Golf Channel, and he's like doing the analytical kind of reaction breakdown of the simulator golf league. But he made a great point where he was like, there's not. I think it was him, one of them up there, said that like it's like the only league really where the players from the biggest league are also in this new league, right? Like, there's not in hockey in the NBA. You don't really have that where like the biggest stars. You literally had Ludwig won on the PGA Tour, and then less than 24 hours later, he is starring in this match on TGL. He's like, he hit the tied for the longest drive in the history of TGL, like less than 24 hours after he hit the winning putt at Torrey Pines at the Genesis Invitational, Tiger Woods' tournament, and won $4 million. So it's like you've got the biggest stars in the game at in real time playing in this thing. And man, just close competitive matches simply bring out the best. And I know that sounds obvious, but it really was something we were trying to hammer home with the early matches that weren't close. Like, even the fucking Super Bowl is just not that exciting when it's not that close. It's really not. Yeah. It's like you just talk about that show, whatever. So obviously TGL is not going to be. And these guys, you hear Tiger talk about it, JT talks about it. They all say, dude, we could play a 50-cent ping pong match during the Ryder Cup in the team room, and I want to rip your throat out. I want to win so badly. That's how they are. But the problem was when you have these lopsided matches, it's like you can't be out there being all pissed off when you miss a putt because you're down 8. You kind of lean into like, oh, we're supposed to be funny and entertaining. You lean on that too much, and it kind of flops a little bit. This, you truly had, I'm with you. I thought they were genuine, real reactions. These guys don't want to lose, and the closer the match gets, the more hardcore that part of it gets and comes out because it's like they can't help themselves. Of course, they want to win, and then when you are, in that instance at the end, it was, I can't remember who was going up against Cantlay in the final, like chip off after Fleetwood hold it. But it's like the other guy hit one in there pretty damn decently to like 10 feet. And I was like nervous. And I was like, Cantlay now like has to hit a pitch over this little hill inside of like 10 feet. That's not the easiest thing in the world to do. And he does it because he like does not want to be the guy that blows it. And they have a huge moment. They're going crazy. There's the chip ins. So yeah, I just thought, now that we've got the rules right, I think more matches are going to be closer like that. You can really pick up a little bit of room if you use the hammer properly, all that stuff. It's leading to closer matches, and they're just entertaining. They're quick. It's 2 hours long. It's a good mix of the alternate shot for 9 holes. Then you get like everybody plays their own ball. It's just a good mix. It's fucking entertaining. It was a Monday where we had golf. We had the most recent tour winner was out there. We haven't, we're recording before, but like Tiger's going to be out there tonight. We're going to record some after if we need to, depending on how it goes. But it's like, it's just fucking great. It's a great addition to what we've got. It's not watching a major. It's not as intense as the Ryder Cup. It's sort of exactly what it's supposed to be. And I thought it was just a huge day for the TGL folks. I really did.
Yeah, all the other leagues, the alternative leagues to other of the major sports leagues, the XFL, the AFL, they have to rely on people just enjoying the sport enough, not necessarily the players that are in it. Because you have a bunch of Jeff Garcias, like I talked about a couple weeks ago, playing in the Arena Football League. You don't have Patrick Mahomes playing in it. You don't have the top guys. In basketball, you have the threes tournament. You have popular college basketball players that maybe didn't make it in the NBA that you recognize their names. You've got some older guys that are retired from the NBA playing it. You got some celebrities, but you don't have Steph Curry and LeBron James playing in it. So that is something that
right.
Golf is nailing, in the sense that they're trying to create more viewership by creating this other league. And they also have the commitment from their biggest players, similar to, we could bring it to the hockey game, where you have the best players in the world playing in the middle of a hockey season, which is super unique. The All-Star games and all the other leagues absolutely suck. They phone it in. The NBA, LeBron James literally didn't play in the All-Star game because he was hurt or whatever the reason was, which is complete bullshit because he easily could have played in it. And they just phone it in. There's no defense. Baseball, I guess it because I think they've changed it though. But when baseball used to be the winning team league gets home field advantage in the World Series, that had a little bit of juice to it. But with hockey, what they're doing, creating this like animosity between countries and like best on best, the world all kind of competing against each other, with the exception of Russia, which I do think that they should be in it. You got some of the best hockey players of all time that could be, like Alex Ovechkin should be absolutely in this tournament. The way that he's playing, the amount of pub around him. I get that there's a lot of political things going on, but like
it would add to it, man. It would, like, from just like a pure selfish sports fan, that would make it even better. I get they got to factor in all the geopolitics, and that's like Bettman and them don't want to deal with that, I'm sure, whatever. But from a pure sports fan, like, why do you think the 1980 Miracle on Ice was so awesome? Yeah, it was the greatest upset of all time. It was also, we were like going to fire nukes at each other at that time. Like,
yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
You would have just such a good team. Kucherov and Ovechkin and just Vasilevsky. It would just, the list would be out of control how good that team is. I think that they would compete for the championship way more than Sweden and Finland. So it's been great. I definitely watched that game. So I don't know if my commitment's more to the Four Nations as it is to TGL. I guess you could see right through that. But what a game. Just, you got the Kachuk brothers. McAvoy, now he's hurt because he's given his body up for this team. My guy Brock Nelson got to wear the A last night, even though he didn't score on a breakaway, which I don't know why they didn't give him the puck earlier. It was a tough spot to get the puck in. He had like one stride before the goalie, so he had to quickly react. But it's been great, just really, really just blood hockey. Like, they want to kill each other. McDavid's out there flying around. Crosby's the best player on the ice still, even though the guy's almost 40 years old.
It's amazing.
He's so good. It's disgusting. He really is. He makes you like sick to your stomach how good he is at hockey. The passes that he makes, the little moves that he makes, like when guys are shooting towards the net, he turns into like a solid wall, knowing that any deflection will bounce right off of his shin pad.
His hockey
right
IQ was off the net, off the charts. What Wayne Gretzky was so good at, dude. The little passes. It's not. I mean, yeah, he's got the flashy shit, but like the little passes that just make the game so much better for his team and teammates and lead to scoring chances and get the puck even like out of his own zone seamlessly to guys with speed. It changes, it flips the entire ice, and he's still the best player at that. It's amazing how good he is at that.
That drop pass he had to Mitch Marner in game 1 of the whole tournament, where he was entering the zone and then dropped it back 2 lines to Marner and then got out of the zone at the perfect time as Marner entered, was so next level. Like, who the hell drops a pass back? Like the mega drop, whatever they were calling it. You've never even seen something that simple, but also that complicated and that complex of a play to like stay on side, to make sure that the guy has as much speed as possible coming in. The defense doesn't know what's going on because they're like pinching at the blue line, like trying to stay with Crosby. The puck's now 2 lines behind him, and this guy's coming in 100 miles an hour.
Full
That's
speed.
all Crosby's
So you gotta,
brain.
You got to skate up, you got to gap up, then you got to go start skating backwards. You're really not sure where to be, and of course he comes in full speed and just rips one, and it's like still a sick play by Marner. But yeah, it is little stuff like that all game long. He just makes the game so much better for his teammates. It's amazing how good he is.
You watch your own, like I watch Brock and like I see him out there and he doesn't have many chances to score because he might be on the fourth line or whatever. And I'm like, I'm giving everything I got watching this thing, trying to will this guy to score a goal. And you see certain situations where the puck will go off, maybe Trocheck shoots it off from the half wall, it goes off the goalie and like flutters off to the right. And you're like, oh my God, Brock, go to that spot. Like, but he's like, just like he might be in a spot that like he wants to make sure he gets back defensively. But then you watch Crosby and there's just something that's like you talk about the hockey IQ, and it's not to take anything away from the other guys, but he's always in like the magically correct spot. Like you couldn't even imagine that he would be there. And he knocks a puck down with his stick or his skate, and then he gets a shot on goal on the rebound. Like if you actually keep your eye on Sidney Crosby, it's fucking outrageous how many chances he gets to score in an offensive zone possession. It's like every time the puck goes by him, he has a chance to get a stick on it and put it on net.
They did a great quick little breakdown of his pass to McKinnon off the boards the other night. Maybe it was last night in the game against Finland. And it was like, dude, they showed the puck kind of rimming back. He was coming from behind the net and he took a look before it came. And then in one swoop off the boards, fired one right to McKinnon's forehand. And it seems like simple, but dude, taking the puck off the boards, and from play roll and all that, it's like, when the puck comes around the boards, it has so much spin on it that if you don't like catch it at the right angle, it's impossible to do that. So usually you have to like stop it and then pass it real quick. Most people to like get everything right. And he just took that look. It was all skill. It was hockey IQ. It was practicing. It was all that put into one. And he just took that looked back down, and then never looked up again and ripped it in one quick motion right to McKinnon, who was able to get the shot off just in time. Bang, goal. That like just doesn't happen without that little play. And it was like, that fucking guy does that all night long. It's a reason he's going to be one of the. I mean, he's unreal. He's absolutely unreal. And yeah, he's fucking my age. He was born in '87.
Yeah, no, So he's got way more years left. I feel like people keep like writing it, like they're still like surprised that he's still playing at this level, but he's still got some years left in there. I mean, it's not like he's old.
He's been doing it for a long time. That's the one thing is like, you wonder if that, and it hasn't yet with Sidney Crosby. You wonder like, dude, to be 37, 38, 39 years old, you got to like put all of the effort in to keep your body sharp and all that, which he's clearly still doing. But when does that burn out? When does that fire? When you're just
Ovi
like,
might be 50 for all we know. Ovi might be like 52 years old.
I know.
And USA is playing great. So Thursday is everything. Thursday is so much everything. And I've been traveling so much, and we have so much travel coming up. We're going out to California, even after this Florida trip. It's like so daunting. We have so much coming up, but I might even stay in Tampa because I don't want to be flying during this game. I can't, like, my flight is scheduled to get in at like 8:40 on Thursday. I can't miss USA Canada. And that's what the NHL has created to bring it back to TGL. The best players playing in alternate versions of the sport that you love is clearly a recipe for success. And playing for something that's meaningful. Obviously, the TGL is less meaningful than playing for your country. But still, it's an exhibition. It's something that's on the side of their normal sport. And you have the best playing the best. Thursday night, tonight when this comes out, is like the biggest game of some guys' lives. Guys that haven't made the playoffs. You hear Dylan Larkin saying it's the biggest games of his life. You got all these guys talking about, what it means to play in a game this meaningful. They maybe play for teams that don't get into the playoffs that often or go on long playoff runs. Like even my guy Brock, he's played in 2 Eastern Conference Finals. If he's playing on Thursday night, that's as big of a game for him as he's ever played in. USA, Canada, in Boston. They had just beaten them, all on the line. Who knows what the viewership's going to be, because the viewership was outrageous for game one. Millions and millions of people watching. So very exciting stuff. Very, very exciting stuff.
Dude, it's cool because on the last show, Frankie, Trent like opened the show being like, all right, I need you to explain to me this hockey game Saturday, because Trent was like, it got on my radar and it was the coolest thing I've ever watched. And we were basically going through the whole breakdown being like, dude, there's just in hockey, there's this patriotism, there's this USA Canada thing. And we were going through a bunch of the history of it. And I was even saying, like, I know we talked about it a couple of weeks ago of like, you hope it's going to work when they come up with this format, the four nations, right? Because there's obviously a lot of history, USA, Canada, hockey, even like Sweden, Finland, Russia. There's so much history. But in terms of the four nations, it's like a new kind of idea, concept. it's technically the All-Star break, so it's like, are people really going to buy in? And a lot of sports, people sit out for all kinds of reasons. They don't want to get hurt. And instead, it was 9 seconds into the game, you had 3 fights, and everyone's setting the tone, being like, this is the biggest thing that's ever fucking happened. We don't care if it's in the middle of the NHL season. And they just couldn't help it. They were booing the national anthem, which is fucking great in terms of just getting everybody into it. Our guys responded by fighting everybody that they saw. And it was, instead of feeling each other out like, oh, we're kind of nervy, it's a huge game, are we as into it as, we would be in the Olympics because it's the middle NHL? Instead, 3 fights, 9 seconds here. Everyone's like, okay, we're in it. We're literally in a war right now. We're in the trenches. It's fucking go time. So I'm with you. Thursday night is going to be, the Saturday night game is meaningless now. It's like, it's cool because all the passion,
this is everything.
Cool, but this is it. You just have to win. You just got to
It's everything. It's everything. And it's so unique. Like, last night, USA scores 35 seconds in, and I'm like, let's go. You get excited, and it's fucking Chris Kreider. And it's like the guy I hate the most on the Rangers. But it's such a unique viewing experience where you're just like, it's Team USA. And that's the thing that separates this from everything else. It's something that Trent probably can't wrap his head around, where it's like all the fans are so into it because you're taking all these players that we are so obsessed with or that we hate so much. And for 1 week, whether it be the Olympics or whether it be now the 4 nations, you just eliminate all of that stuff and you just care about the USA winning a hockey game. And that's so cool to me. It really is. Like, for me to root on a New York Ranger, it needs to be like the most. I'm not saying that I'm actually rooting for him to score, because I probably am not. But like, there's just this sense of like everything goes out the window and it's all about national pride. And it always delivers, man. It always delivers.
It does. It does. So I'm jacked up for Thursday. Trent was very into it. He was very into it. He was like, explain to me as much as I need to know here, because I'm all in on this. I think everybody was. It transcended hockey. It really did. It was just like, you couldn't miss it. You couldn't miss the fight clips, and then bang, you were right into it. So it was awesome. Let's go USA. Let's get the fucking win. We owe it to these guys. Our World Junior team's been getting wins for years now. It's like, we need our squad at the top level to get some W's. So let's go take down Canada. No offense to the Canadians. We love playing golf up there. Speaking of playing golf, we're able to talk about this now, but a member of the fore-play team, we don't know which one yet, we're doing a qualifier, we'll be playing Sawgrass, 9 holes on Wednesday of the Players' Championship in this Creator Cup situation. The announcement came out yesterday of who all is participating. We got 1 spot. That was sort of, in the talks, which is great. I think that's perfect. So we're going to play for it. Somebody's going to play in front of tens of thousands of fans on the back 9 at TBC Sawgrass the day before the Players' Championship opens up. That iconic finishing stretch, the Island Green, the par 5 16th, the brutal par 4 18th, all of it. One of the members of our team, Wednesday, I think it's March 12th, Wednesday, March 12th in the afternoon, is going to be playing TBC Sawgrass. So we're gonna do a qualifier. Like I said, we're going to see who from our crew emerges and plays in that. But yeah, we will be participating in that.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to get the whole crew somehow, some way to a golf course where we are filming. I think you got Beef, and if Jersey Jerry wins, he's going to get in. Francis, the whole entire crew. We're going to have a nice tournament, ball in hole, tournament style, major style. Who's playing at TPC Sawgrass? There's going to be a lot on the line in that video for sure. Everyone wants to play because we're going to be there. So it's like, you don't want to just sit on the sidelines and watch someone else play, even
caddying
though
for your buddy. I mean, I get that it's fun, but it's like,
still cool.
Put me in, coach.
We don't have many competitive reasons to do these videos aside from just wanting to win. Like, this is actually something that is like tangible, that you are winning. So that's exciting. So that's going to be coming up before the Players as well. Yeah, it's going to be great. Absolutely great. We got a lot of stuff going on. You got Beef and Jerry right now trying to break 100 as we speak, as we're filming, as we're recording this. I think Beef's going to be great for Jerry. I see a lot of people being like, oh, Jerry's doing the golf stuff now. Is this just something that you guys are plugging him into just so he has something to do? Like, well, no, we actually have done a million golf videos with this guy. He came to Sand Valley with us. He came on the west, I guess it was west, but the Midwest trip, where we did the whole entire trip through South Dakota and North Dakota. He's come to a lot of the events that we've been doing. He is going to be doing a lot more fore-play going forward because he's just naturally one of the funniest people of all time. And He loves the game of golf. It's something that he wakes up and thinks about. He wants to get better. He calls me every single day talking about getting stuff for his garage to hit balls in. He wants to learn what the best mat is to get. What can he use during the summer in his backyard to chip on, and what can he hit drives into? What kind of course should he try and get a membership at where he can actually hit off grass on the driving range? He's constantly thinking about, how am I going to get better? This is something I don't want to just do and get laughed at. He wants to get that breaking 100, breaking 90, like galvanizing group behind him, like wanting him to break that number, because he genuinely cares about it. Like the day that he breaks 100, it's going to mean the most in the world to him, because he wants to get better. Similar to Trent. Trent always wanted to stop being the worst guy on the internet at golf. He wanted to become better. He did become better. Now he's on to breaking 85, which is such a funny number, thinking back to the 144 he shot at Bethpage Black. But like, so Jersey Jerry's there. He's shooting 104s. He's shooting 110s. He played with you. Balls going all over the place. I'll also address that. We got a lot. I don't know if you guys talked about that last week. The alternate shot video with Beef. We got a lot of flack for the team matchups and for the style of the format. In hindsight, we should have done a scramble. That golf course, whether it be 200 yards or 6,000 yards, is one of the hardest golf courses I've ever played in my entire life. We weren't particularly ready for that. We did do a fitting the day before. Things went great. And I think that's a very relatable thing, where you go, you get a lesson, you get all this new equipment. Maybe that's not relatable. So I am aware that that's not relatable, but sometimes you'll get a lesson, or sometimes you learn something new. And then the next day you go out and nothing's there. Like you have new swing thoughts, or like the game's just not where it was yesterday. And you're describing to your buddies, like, I swear I was striping the ball yesterday on the range. And that's kind of how we all felt out there. And the course was so hard that if we could go back, looking back, it's Beef's first video. He should have definitely been a part of a scramble. You got Jerry and you, which Jerry's putting you in impossible spots on the first hole. He's like, you guys made 11 or whatever it was. You're basically out of the match from there.
We had a birdie early. We had a nice birdie early. But, dude, that golf course, and I love Goat Hill, but it was a battle out there with, if you just missed a green, like, it ran forever. It was firm as shit. It's super slopey. It's 4,000 something yards or whatever it is. So the way that they make it, keep up is just you end up in some shocking spots. It was one time I think I putted from like 100 yards out across like firm, like dirt the whole way. And it was just like, that was the only shot. So there was a lot of that going on. But also, like you said, it is funny to go from the Kingdom. Like when we left the Kingdom, I think everybody there thought we were scratch golfers when you leave the Kingdom. You're just like, dude, I cannot miss. My guys got me dialed in here, there, whatever. And then you're standing there, and like the second hole is a great example of like, it was like 170 or whatever it was up the hill. And it's like, if you come up a yard short, like your guy's ball ended up on that like turf tee box thing. But you come up a yard short, it rolls 120 yards backwards. I think me and Jerry just missed it a little bit left, and it like kicked almost onto some other green. So you just end up in some crazy, crazy spots, which was wild for alternate shot. But
with the scramble, you're always going to have like one decent shot, which would have been easier for viewing. I get that it was a tough. I also like, what do you think this channel is? Like, you're going to see some bad golf shots out here. That's who we are. It's not, the PGA Tour. It's not, you're not going to be seeing shot for shot, incredible golf all the time. But a scramble, I'll admit, would have been a better situation for that course. Guys from TaylorMade were texting me being like, you guys got goated. Like that happens, people are like tagging TaylorMade being like, how could you guys like give these guys clubs and go from a fitting to go playing like this? And the TaylorMade guys are reaching out to us being like, you guys got fucking goated, man. Like that place, you can shoot a 65 or you can shoot 145 depending on where that ball is bouncing. Like you said, 1 yard short, it goes forever down these canyons, and then you're playing alternate shots. So it's like you're waiting for this other guy who ends up for you being Jersey Jerry, where it's like he's not hitting the ball anywhere near the hole, especially up a freaking mountain onto a tabletop green. And then the last thing I'll say was, we thought about cart situations. I don't know that Beef could have gotten up any of those hills with anyone else in his cart but me. I know I'm starting to gain some weight, but we're talking straight weight of like the actual group there in the cart. If it's Trent and Beef, might as well walk it, fellas. You ain't getting those wheels up there. No chance. We were pushing us up at one point.
No, I don't mind the teams at all. Me and Jerry too. We were in the cart. We were talking through it. we were like 2 swings away from an 8-shot difference. Like the first hole, I kind of blade a wedge, goes over the green. I was like, dude, if I just hit that on the green. And then there was one other one where it's like Jerry hit one over the green or something. Maybe it was me, where it was like, if both of those shots just go on the green, we're 8 strokes better than we finished up and we're right in the mix. So it's not teams. Anybody can play that game, obviously, with golf and whatever. It could come down to anything, an alternate shot. Like I've kind of made the point a few times. We've done multiple videos now with, pairing up uh, different guys where you would think the teams would be outrageously skewed one way, and it ends up the team that you thought was going to finish last, comes out on top. So alternate shot, anything can happen. And we got goated. I mean, I had a million people text me.
We got goated. That's really the end of it. Sometimes you just don't have it, and we just didn't have it that day. I've heard the reason I bring it up, I heard a lot, even in my own life, like people being like, "That was just some bad golf." Like, listen, guys, that place was hard. Like, I love the place. I wear the hoodie every single day now. I love the logo, love the location, love the story. Fucking hard golf course. And I think people listening and that are local, they're kind of chuckling to themselves, being like, "I've gotten goated many times." Like, there's just days that ball is just kind of bouncing in the wrong direction, and it's kind of like mini golf in a sense that like it goes down the wrong tube and the ball ends up in the water, and there's nothing you can do about it. So that video is out there. So if you guys want to watch an absolute train wreck of golf, balls flying all over the place and rolling down mountains, listen, there's a video for everybody out there. There's a video for everybody.
Sport Clips is not just where you get a haircut. It's your playbook for looking fresh. You walk in, catch the game, sit back while the pros in men's hair handle the rest. I went to Sport Clips like a week ago. They got the very cushiony, almost like if you're sitting on the floor at a concert or at like an NBA game or something. They got the real cushy, nice chairs. Again, feels like you're at some big sporting event. They got the TVs on and all kinds of stuff. I was watching the pregame. I believe it was Saturday I went in there. I was watching the pregame for the USA-Canada hockey game was on. All kinds of chatter. So it's nice to be in there, pros and men's hair surrounded, in an environment that you like to be in. No hassle, no surprises. Just a very solid cut every time. They've also got the MVP experience. They give you they shampoo, they massage your head, they'll trim up your beard. It's really, really nice. So they give you the hot, warm towel. It's awesome. It's simple. It's easy. It's made for guys who want to feel like they've got the home field advantage. If you want to track your real-time wait times, this is another huge benefit. Download the app. Just check in online, and they're going to tell you exactly when you're up. You roll over there. You don't have to waste any time. You get there, bang, you're pretty much ready to rock. You're up. Sport Clips, the haircut experience dialed in for guys. It's a game changer. Get a first look, everyone, a first look at the new PGA Tour 2K25, free now on PS5, Xbox S and X series, and on Steam. You build up to 3 My Players. Progress is going to carry over to the full game. So the deal with the first look, it's awesome. It's free to download, and it gives you this really early, again, first look, as it's called, at the new game. You could play TBC Scottsdale, the WM Phoenix Open event. You could play the back nine, take your first swing, experience a portion of what's going to make PGA Tour 2K25 incredibly special with first look. You get a head start on your journey, experience the realistic feel of the perfect stroke delivered by the new Evo swing mechanics and more My Player customization than ever. We love customization. It's awesome. We've been in the game before. Now you could customize more than you've ever been able to customize before. And you get a first look for free. Go check it out. PS5, Xbox S series, X series, the Steam. Plus, have all your progress, whatever progress you make in the first look, carries over to the full PGA Tour 2K25 game. The courses are awesome. The playability is awesome. Golf is awesome. So why not have it on your console as well? Download PGA Tour 2K25 first look now. I think that for now, that's all I've got. I know we want to do a little closest to, and I think Alex Bush brought it. So I don't know if we want to do it, this, and then we'll get Trent's answers later. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's nice because we're kind of splitting this up. You guys are going to do some TGL, even if it's like 5 or 10 minutes, just to at least give, a recap of Tiger Woods playing golf, see how he's doing. It's his first time playing since backing out of, the Genesis. So a lot of things going on in his life, but hopefully he plays well tonight, which would be 2 days ago when you're listening to this. I think I want to get an update because I know I've been keeping track. I think I would love to know who had the closest on the first goal of the USA game, the USA Canada game, because that was pretty close, pretty early into the first period.
Yeah. So the first goal of USA Canada was at 5:31, McDavid's goal, and Frankie was closest.
I knew
and it was actually pretty tight because you had 5:59, so you were 32 seconds off. Riggs had 6:09, he was 38 seconds off.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my fucking God.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the fact that getting 32 and 38 seconds off, whatever it
Yeah.
is, of a 60-minute hockey game that could have
It's
been
amazing.
0-0 until
Less than a
overtime
minute.
is
Like-
outrageous. Like all those
Ugh.
stars, all the people playing in it, the fact that we got with under a minute is nuts. And I knew that I knew I was close. I didn't know what I ended up guessing.
I thought
knew I
would've
was
won
right there
that,
in the
'cause
5
I knew
minute
I
mark.
had 6
Yeah.
something. I thought, I said 6:09 or something like that, right?
Yeah, 6:09. Yep.
Fuck.
And Frankie
Wow.
was
All right, let's
5:59.
go.
So, and then just to round off the week, we had lowest round at Torrey Pines was 64 from Matt McNeely on Sunday. Trent on the number.
Oh, no way.
And then we had
hurts.
Rory's.
What did I
finishing
guess for
position-
that? 60. I didn't guess a 60.
You and I had 63. Riggs had 65,
Oh, and Trent got on the number.
but he got it on the number. Yeah,
Oh.
That's huge for Trent. Fuck.
yeah. We had Rory's finishing position, which was T17. I was closest with 7th, and then the Beatles' total number of songs 213, and Riggs 216.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that was close. Dude,
Pretty.
I had to win
close.
that one. My mom is the biggest Beatles fan ever. I
Wow.
would listen to Beatles songs
213
nonstop
songs.
Yeah.
God.
in like
Damn.
7-8 years. That's an amazing amount of songs. Wow.
So
Wow.
so year to date we have Riggs is the new Trent right now with 9, and then Frankie, Trent, Alex all was 6.
Oh, it's close.
Big for Trent getting those 2, I will say.
Do we want to do today's and then maybe we just tell Trent and I can splice in his answers?
Do his or do ours with us, and then yeah, I mean,
Like if they record later, then you can just ask them these questions, and then when you're editing it, you could probably put it.
That's
into
what I was
this
saying. I
part
can
right
kind
now.
of
yeah.
I'll splice
I
it.
like that. I think that's
okay.
doable.
So first one, we have Mexico Open this week. Simple enough. Highest round, the worst round during the Mexico
Ooh.
Open.
I like when we do this.
Wow.
You know, I always think there could be some like local qualifier guy or something who just lost his game a couple weeks ago and is going to be out there shooting.
We should
Where
do
are we
these
sending
in
this to?
a group with us too, so Trent doesn't see it before tonight.
All right, that's a good call. Highest round.
I don't know. I kind of went low. I don't know.
All right, Riggs 78 or 79, Alex 81, Frankie 78.
Trent, 75.
Okay.
Ooh,
I'm not gonna win. Someone's gonna shoot in the 80s.
I feel like it's kind of an easy relative track, but fuck, I don't know, it could be a bunch of wind.
Next one is still golf related, a future one, but we assume it'll probably happen soon. So the date of Scotty Scheffler's next win on the tour.
Oh,
Wow.
do a little bit of math here. The date.
All right. We got Frankie March 9th, Riggs March 16th, Alex March 16th players.
Trent, March 9th.
So I'm guessing
Arnold
that's
Palmer.
Arnold Palmer. and
Yeah, you
players,
do.
yeah.
Will he play? Will he play in that? Yeah, right.
I feel like he does.
Yeah.
I feel like he does. Because doesn't
Got
he
it,
win
right?
that? Didn't he win it last year and then almost
He's
won it
won
the year
it.
before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, third one, USA Canada on Thursday, Four Nations Championship. We've got from both teams, number 1 pick, number 2 pick, 2015, McDavid, Eichel, both with 4 points in 3 games. How many combined points between them two in the championship game?
McDavid and Eichel combined points in the championship game. God damn. Okay.
Good chance of getting 2 points here.
I know.
Good question. They're both going to be heavily involved in both power plays. Let me tell you something too. This guy, and I know this is no breaking news, but Jack Hughes, the way that he can handle a puck in the offensive zone is
Phenomenal.
fun to
dude.
watch. I don't know that he really gets too much. Like he like does a lot for a little. It's like, and I know
Yeah.
some people say a lot
Barzal
of
was
guys
that
call
way
it
for a little
Instagram
while?
hockey. Barzell's like that too. He's my guy, but he's definitely in that
Much
like,
better at it now.
does a lot of spinning. take 10 minutes to get back to the same spot that you just were, but it's fun to watch. It's a lot of fun to watch. Dude, he is so fast out there. He must be like what it's like to watch Barzell for like the first time in a long time because it's so much different than everyone around him. Not necessarily they're the best player because there's way better players than Jack Hughes out there on the same ice, like especially on that roster. But he just he's doing something different than everyone else. He's going side to side a little bit different.
Yeah, flashy. It's like flashy locket looking.
Shifty.
Reminds me a little bit of like Patrick Kane a little, like the way he would fucking be shifty.
Yeah. Okay. Eichel, McDavid combined points, 3 for Frankie, 5 for Riggs, 3 for Alex.
Trent, 3.
All right.
I'm hoping for a shootout, dude. I think it's going to be like a 5-4 game or something.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Okay, last game or last question. We've got NBA on Tuesday. Luka plays the Mavs again.
Whoa.
Or for the first time.
Wow.
27 points per game this year, and since joining the Lakers, getting mixed in, 14 and 16. How many points for Luka Doncic with his first game against the Mavs?
It's interesting because I've been watching the game. I've been watching the games, and like it makes me think like how they personally feel. Now, Luka wants to win a championship. LeBron's won so many championships, not so many, but he's won championships. So is that the only thing that drives him? Like, or does LeBron want to like get the most points possible every single time he's out on the court for the rest of the games that he is available to us in this league before he retires? But like them both being out there is splitting their potential chance of scoring. You know what I mean? Like in Luka's first game, like he had 14 points, but it's like they won by 1 million because LeBron also went out there.
And he also
they were able to sit Luka forever.
Yeah.
I know, but it's just, and this happens with like all the big 3 teams where it's like one guy ends up scoring a lot less than they would have if they were just the main guy. Like Luka was scoring 30 points a game, no problem on the Mavs. Like he's going out there putting up 40 points, 50 points. And now obviously you put on the Lakers, he might average 25 because you're splitting it. But like, do you think that they care? I don't know. Luka definitely that to win a championship.
That happened with like Kyrie when he was in Cleveland, and then LeBron came on, and it was a little bit different, but they won a championship. So
I could see Luka carrying a little bit because he's so young that like it could kind of affect your contracts and shit going forward, right? Like if you're not,
he's made so much money.
Yeah,
I know
he has. But I just feel like if you want to be like the guy and have all of the points, I feel like when you're older, maybe you wouldn't care as much because you're sort of like, I just want to win at this point. I'm older versus when you're, I don't know. You could also.
I don't really know much about basketball. It's probably
LeBron wants to
take,
win.
I'm sure.
LeBron wants to win. Yeah. He wants to get closer to more titles. Like he's already the all-time.
It's a bad take. So. It's just something I was like watching them both out there, being like, well, now like you got 2 really good guys out there as opposed to just
it is a
one
weird
guy
dynamic in basketball. It's not really like that in other sports. There's like I'm trying to think.
No.
I mean, I guess.
Like who are you giving the ball to at the end? It was always LeBron. Now it's like, is it Luka? And it's just something that I was thinking about watching them. Like I don't know. It's just different. And LeBron's always had guys to his right. He's had Dwayne Wade, and he had Chris Bosh, and he had AD, and all these guys. Kyrie. He's always had those guys, and he's always been the guy that took the shot. But I feel like Luka is so good and such a legend of this league right now that, like, of course you would give it to Luka. So yeah, it's interesting.
It's interesting. Like, it's like A-Rod Jeter. It's like who's the guy? Where it's like, well,
yeah, but you don't get to choose like who gets up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In this, like,
right,
you get to literally just hand the ball.
I mean, you got a timeout and you're tied or down by 1. LeBron's getting the ball. I mean,
really?
Yeah, most likely. I mean, I don't care how old he is. He's still top 2 player. We're not going to start that debate, but top 2 players ever. So,
probably the best player ever.
I would agree, but I didn't want to start that,
He's still dropping 40 points at 40 years old. He's doing ridiculous shit, man. Ridiculous shit.
Okay, Luka points against the Mavs. Riggs 33, Frankie 28, Alex 26.
Trent 34.
Yes.
I was going to go like with 21. Like that's what I mean. I don't know if this guy's going to go off ever.
I know.
He's still getting worked in too. Like
true, he's been out since Christmas.
He looks fucking incredible in a Lakers jersey, I have to say.
He does. The 77. When did they start allowing basketball players to wear any number like over? I feel like wasn't it like anything over 40 or anything? Couldn't you not wear high numbers because of like the way that the ref would like signal your number to the
Was that a thing in basketball? I don't remember. I mean, I know
like anything over
football they changed the numbers thing, but
can you search that so that people listening to this don't think I'm
I'll look it up right
now? There was a rule at one point that you couldn't have a higher number in basketball. I remember like growing up playing basketball with my guy Sheldon Hadjigal the Magical, Westbury basketball. It was so funny. You had a bunch of like little white kids going to this school. Like we all went to this St. Bridget's basketball in Westbury. It was like 5 of us from the baseball team. And all of a sudden, like one year, we like got a bunch of like the local Westbury kids that came in. It was like Sheldon Hadjigal the Magical came onto our team, and all of his buddies came on, and all of us ended up on the bench, and Sheldon and all his boys ended up playing, and we won like championships, and they were dunking. I mean, I was like 11 years old. I remember one summer Sheldon came to the team, and things changed, and I really saw like what like puberty could do to someone. It was unbelievable. And we watched him his whole entire high school and college career. I used to love watching Sheldon. We used to travel to go watch him play.
Okay,
What are you searching?
I'm still trying to find it, but the funniest thing I just found, there is a band number that's not a retired number. Do you want to guess what it is?
69.
Yes.
That's awesome.
It's actually banned.
69?
Like you see NFL like long snappers wear it all the time, but
Just because of sex?
yeah, it says for potential offensive association. So yes.
Amazing. That's actually phenomenal. Phenomenal.
That's incredible. I mean, I can't find this.
You know what? It is what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I remember there being a thing because like they would always like signal to the rules official like and you couldn't have a certain combination of numbers because the hand signals wouldn't work. I always thought that was a thing, but that might be something that I literally dreamed one day when I was like 13 years old, and I've believed it ever since.
It does say, it says old international basketball rules restricted players to numbers 4 through 15 to make it easier for game officials to communicate with hand signals. FIBA dropped the rule in 2014. That's just international, but that's clearly a rule. So it might have been in the NBA.
I'm seeing that someone wore 99 in 1940.
Whatever, dude.
So
maybe I'm wrong. This could be a Rico Bosco. If we call should I call Rico Bosco and see if there was a CYO rule?
Call him.
What do you think Rico Bosco is doing right now?
Picking up that phone call. I think that's what he's doing.
God, and I got to make this flight because I got to get out of here. Let's see what this guy.
Your call has been
forwarded.
Damn. We'll find it. We'll get to the bottom of that. We'll get to the bottom of it. All right.
Well, I texted him because I need that. I need that confirmation that I'm not going fucking insane. That CYO basketball limited the number that you could pick. They had to, because I remember it was, if you were like 70, 77, it was like 77. But now I'm doing that, and I think that I'm wrong. I think I could be just fucking wrong.
Well, the international thing, it was a thing at some point, some level, sometime.
Yeah, Rico's like the number one CYO basketball knowledge guy of all time. So it's a shame. It's an absolute shame that we will not be getting that answer from Rico Bosco. He must be recording something because it's only 3:00. So I hope I didn't call him during a show. But it is what it is. When we call people, they never answer for these freaking shows. It's like,
no, it's a shame.
Chicklets calls me. I missed my flight once. I'll never forget that. I stayed on the phone with them talking Islanders preview, and I literally I had to run to the gate and ask them to like hold the door as I was running up there because I had stayed on the phone for 30 minutes.
They know the buttons to push. They get you going on the Islanders. You'll miss anything. It doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah, I'll never stop. But all right, off to Florida. Off to Florida we go. Taking Southwest, which is an absolute fucking nightmare. Planes are dropping out of the sky. They're hitting the ground. They're tumbling over. Thoughts and prayers with everyone that's flying. We fly a lot. We fly an absolute lot.
Amazing amount of time we fly.
I'll say I've been starting to get some like flight anxiety, and it's something that I can't really shake. Like here comes Rico Bosco. Here we go.
Mm-hmm. Here we go, Rico.
What's up, pal?
Rico, you're on the call. This is you're on the fore-play podcast. Rico Bosco, avid golfer. He loves the game of golf. Question for you, Rico. CYO basketball. Wasn't there a rule that you couldn't wear a certain number because it would be too much for the ref to like signal to the rules official, or am I just imagining that?
Not only was it a CYO rule, it was also an NBA rule, I believe, for a long period of time. It was definitely a college rule. The rationale is you can't have more than 5 fingers. So 55 is the max. So you could also have 54, 53. You could have 22, 21, things like that. But you cannot have 6, 7s, 8s. Can't have that.
I knew it, because now we're talking Luka, and I'm like, this guy's 77. How is? And I guess I just like, I've been blind since however many years that guys have had numbers over 55. I just couldn't believe it. It's like something struck inside me where I'm like, how is this guy number 77? That never would have been allowed back in the day.
Yeah, I think it's long since gone in the NBA, and I think long since gone in college now. But yeah, it was one of the. It's an old timer rule.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like the old guys still get mad. Like, oh, look at this guy wearing fucking number 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah, double nickels was as high as you could get. All right, well now I feel better.
Dad, unrelated, no, my dad had a very positive experience at Borelli's.
He did have a very positive experience. I didn't know, with personal lives, I know that it's always like a touchy issue. We don't want to expose anything. And my dad sent me the picture. I'm like, Dad, you better not put that anywhere. You got Rico Bosco's dad at Borelli's. My dad was like crying that he met your dad. He's like, I love meeting people from the family. He said that he was a great guy. He couldn't believe that he was in there.
Yeah, he was out on Long Island for some kind of swim championships or something.
Yeah.
And, he was out there. But yeah, I've had a positive experience at Borelli's too, obviously.
You do. Rico Bosco owns the record for most baked clams eaten at Borelli's in Long Beach. Borelli's Tap Room.
Wow. I don't think that's ever getting broken.
I think it was like 55 or something. 50, was it 50?
50 on the nose.
50 baked clams in one sitting during the national championship 2 years ago. So yeah, all right, Rico. That's Rico Bosco. I appreciate you for validating that.
All right, yeah, tell everybody I said hello.
Will do.
Incredible.
Very Bosco, our very own. Very
huge
funny.
Call.
Yeah, double nickels.
Came through.
Huge call. Huge
Mm-hmm.
call. Absolutely huge call. But yeah, the flights, I've been getting these little palpitations around the heart. Like just something, you know what it is, man? And I know people listen to this on a plane, so you can and I'm about to go on a plane, so it is what it is. I really don't care if you're nervous with me listening to this, me talking about this, because I'm about to get on one. I'm nervous. It's the way that these things are starting to go down that's really starting to make me feel uneasy, because it's like it's at the landing zones, like horrible. Like the DC one has shooken me up for months, to the point where it's like I have for a long time texted people that I'm on the ground when I'm like within 2 or 3 minutes of landing, and now the fact that like your day is not safe yet until that thing is at the freaking gate is starting to really freak me out. Because you start getting texts, like the LTE starts going on, like when you're about to land, like think you're there, you've made it over the Atlantic Ocean, coming back from London, whatever it is, and like you're there. And no, man, you could be wheels down, flipping upside down, going on fire. Oh, it's just it's a lot right now, man. Like, what's going on? We haven't seen one of these things.
Not good. The Toronto one was not good. That seemed like just a routine sort of landing. Came in super hot. The landing gear
just
breaks
falls down.
The plane flips over. About? I cannot believe everybody's okay or survived, because it's in a fireball. It's flipping upside down. It looked like every other plane crash where
I can't. I'm not going. I'm done. I'm staying home. I'm not going. What's going to happen to me?
Not good.
What, you guys going to fire me? I'm not going. I'm not going. I can't get on this flight. This is insane. I'm flying Southwest. They don't even have outlets. And it's not all this bullshit, all the political stuff. Everyone probably knows which way I lean anyway. All this stuff is all bullshit, what you're reading on Facebook. It's just like a bad luck stretch right now, I think. I don't know how else to explain it. There was no... The snow wasn't a factor, and like people are like, oh, it's DEI. They didn't like shovel the snow. It's like, what are you talking about? The fucking landing gear just came down. The pilot fucked up.
Agreed. From what I saw, it didn't look like a great landing.
What? There's no politics in the fact that fucking plane flipped upside down. It's pissing me off now. You read shit on Facebook. Like, come on. We got to figure out how to get these planes on the ground, man.
I agree. I try not to think about it because of how much we fly, and it's like you just gotta really try to
last
get through
night
it.
Coming back from fucking London, I had my eyes on this dot, this because you get in like the landing formation. So we're flying into JFK, and I'm looking out the right, and I see these headlights of a plane just coming towards us. And when I tell you, the heartbeat of my neck started to grow so much I thought I was going to pass out. Just boom, boom, boom. And I'm staring at this thing and I'm like, all right, Frank, it's obviously coming around to land. It's doing this, like it's following you and then it's going to land after us. It's probably so far away, but I'm like, I don't know anymore. I don't know. Whatever. I know that we're not supposed to talk about this because everyone's on planes listening, but I got to get going, I think.
All right. Well, we're good here. We're done.
I literally got to get on a plane now. God bless America. God bless Team USA. God bless Tiger Woods. God bless my flight. I am going to get up in that air and I'm going to land. I'm going to watch White Lotus on the plane on my iPad, and I'm going to get a drink. Maybe I don't even think you can do that on Southwest. I'm just going to relax because flights go up and down all the time. I was on one last night. I got one. I went across the Atlantic Ocean last night. Try and tell that to like the people that rode on the Mayflower that I flew across the Atlantic Ocean last night. No problem. So we're all good. We're all good in the hood. Yep. I can't wait to be down in Florida. That's it. I'm done. Everything's peachy. Everything's Miss Peaches, baby.
Good luck. I hope you have a really safe
Adios. I'm out of here.
See ya. This year's motto is better brew, better you. At Stella Blue Coffee, we believe good coffee is one of life's non-negotiables. It's time to stop drinking those boring, tasteless big coffee beans and turn to Stella Blue. Stella Blue Coffee's delicious roasts are available in cold brew, K-cups, ground and whole bean formats to seamlessly fit into your morning coffee routine, whatever that routine might be. Everybody's unique. Everybody's got their own little thing, their own routine. Bang. No problem. Stella Blue is going to fit in for you. Oh, and every bag sold helps save dogs. So if you don't like saving dogs, we got a whole nother issue. If you do like saving dogs, this is for you. Stella Blue is proud to have helped save over 1,000 dogs from rescue to adoption. This past year, we did our first collab with Stella Blue Coffee, created the Blueberry Muffin Cold Brew. It's delicious. Pitcher packs. It tastes amazing and even features the fore-play logo on the bag. Again, we did our own. Check it out, the Blueberry Muffin Cold Brew pitcher packs. Support our delicious flavor and support Stella Blue. Great purpose, better coffee. Enjoy Stella Blue Coffee by using the QR code on your screen. If you're looking on YouTube, you're looking at a video version of this, check out the QR code on the screen or by visiting StellaBlueCoffee.com. Use promo code fore-play, that's one word, FOREPLAY, for 20% off orders of $25 or find them on Amazon for next day delivery, simple next day delivery, Amazon. So again, QR code, if you're looking at video right now, you probably can see it. Your eyes probably work. If not, StellaBlueCoffee.com. Promo code is fore-play for 20% off. Okay, folks, now we are joined by the lovely Trent Ryan of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, who now resides in the great state of Florida. Sunshine State? Is that Florida's Sunshine State? Is that right?
I believe that is correct. I could be very wrong, but it feels fitting for Florida. It's a very sunny state.
Sunshine State. Florida is nicknamed the Sunshine State because of its sunny weather and beautiful beaches. That's correct. Which I want to say it might be true that Colorado gets the most sunshine of any state. Which state?
I actually think that's right. I think they have the most days of sunlight out of a year. That's another thing I don't know for sure. I'm guessing. But I've heard
Arizona,
that before.
Colorado. I think Colorado does get the most days with sunshine. Interesting. Look at that. Anyways, you're in the Sunshine State. Yeah. Trent has joined us. We did a little bit of TGL talk. We did quite a bit of TGL talk, myself and Frankie, and went through everything that was President's Day version of TGL, which was great. We had 3 absolute nail biters. We sort of went on and on about how TGL had all this momentum. It was really great. We just wrapped up the match with the Jupiter Lynx, getting absolutely dusted by the New York Golf Club. I lost a little bit of momentum, to be honest with you. I don't know. It was. If you heard how much we were gassing up TGL earlier, Trent, you would see that, I don't know that lived up to how much we were hyping it earlier. It's still a Tiger, Kiz, the whole thing, which we're going to get into. But President's Day was a little more exciting than this match, I would say.
Way better. The TGL matches are a seesaw. It's either really close, really entertaining, a lot of great things going on, or they're just blowouts. Like the first couple weeks of TGL were blowouts, and people were like, I don't know if this is any good. And then the matches started to get close, and it was like, oh, this is really good. And President's Day was great, had a ton of huge moments, great matches. And then we seesawed back Tuesday night with the Jupiter Lynx versus the New York Golf Club. And I don't know what they can do to fix it. I don't know if if there's a quick fix for it, but yeah, I wish all of the matches were close because, obviously, Captain Obvious, that's when you get the best matches. So I don't know. Tonight was definitely it was funny. Like, I think we probably planned to do this little recap if something crazy and the match was really close happened. Instead, it was a blowout and we're still going to talk about it. But yeah, I think it just lost a little momentum, but it doesn't make me feel down on TGL. It's kind of a thing now where you go in knowing it could be really close or it could be a blowout, and it's probably going to be one or the other.
Yeah, me too. I still enjoyed the hell out of it tonight. I was watching it. It's 2 hours long. It's easy. It's easy to consume. I have to, I wrote a handful of notes down. One of them was Kiz just relentlessly complaining about the technology on one of his shots, but doing it in a way where you could tell that they're not full, and we do this all the time. I can't even imagine what our files look like, but we have the benefit of editing and post, or our crew does. But like, just talking like they're not mic'd up, but they are mic'd up, and you can hear them, and they have hot mics. So it's like he's not on screen. They're actually showing someone else like teeing off, but you can just hear Kiz over on the side going, "Felt like I absolutely flushed that one." He's like, if you look at it, it came off on the screen like 10 feet right of the pin, and then ended up, when it showed it on the screen, it was way right. He's like saying all this on a hot mic as like the next guy's teeing off, which, we talked about it week 1. We talked about this and we had a whole debate about the technology, and now the technology has gotten dragged all over the internet. They had I think it was the Tommy Fleetwood shot where the a couple weeks ago where the simulator picked up the divot and didn't pick up the actual ball. So it looked like his ball went like a foot, even though he's Tommy Fleetwood. He flushed one out of like the fairway. And then you get players just kind of constantly being a little bit upset with the technology. You have the My Golf Spies of the world that do all of this deep testing on equipment, technology, et cetera, that have come out and been like, look, there is a launch monitor in the world of golf that costs like 5 times what the one that they're using costs.
Right.
And there's a reason for that. Like, there's in the world here in this, society that we have built, this global society, that's like, if something costs 5x or something else, the technology just is what it is. So there's been all that chatter since the first couple weeks. And I just can't help but laugh at like, it is, and we've all agreed that like in a league where there's betting and there's money on the line, probably don't want it to come down to this, but it is very relatable. Where it's like, anytime I've ever gone and played simulator golf with my buddies, every single person at some point hits a shot, and then they walk off after it was their turn, being like, "That's bullshit. There's no way. I know I fucking flushed that." So it made me laugh watching kids do that. Oh, Trent has done the microphone thing, which I actually thought I did earlier when we were recording the show. But I got lucky and didn't and got away with it. But we have these touchy mics, everybody. And if you just hit the wire in the wrong way, it disconnects. And then the service that we use to record the podcast does not allow you to re-hook up your mic or sync your mic to the actual show without leaving and then returning. Luckily, we've gotten very good at it, and Trent has now returned, and he's got green. You got a lot of green lit up on your microphone too, which is nice.
Yeah, the front. I think that means I'm doing something right. Kiz just can't help himself. Yeah, he really, the guy running the show has to probably just turn his mic down all the time with stuff like that, because I think most of the guys probably do a pretty good job of hiding it because they don't want to be like, oh, well, the technology's fucked here, because that's kind of what the league is built around. But yeah, there's got to be, I don't know where you go. I don't know what you do. I think largely the technology is just fine and it's working perfectly. It's just every once in a while that look that Kevin gives the screen after he hits it, there's just, you can tell what he's thinking. He really doesn't even have to say anything. He just hits it, and then he's just like, oh,
kind of like turns his head sideways a little bit. He kind of looks at it like,
yeah, looks down at the club, and then on one of the shots near the end, Tom Kim was like, "You chunked that a little bit," and Kid's like, "I think I hit that pretty good, actually." It's like, all right, shit.
Yep, we had an all-time moment with Tiger Woods, who thought that somebody told him it was 99 yards. He hit a wedge 99 yards. He had 199 yards at the end. So his ball literally flew like halfway there. He then was turning around. Tiger Woods is not one who is used to being like embarrassed. You could just tell that just doesn't happen. He's not surrounded by people that most likely give him a ton of shit for like if he would be in an embarrassed mood. He's the alpha. He's the guy. He is like the top of the pyramid, the king of the castle. So him just being wildly embarrassed and not fully knowing how to handle it was quite a sight to see. And then afterwards, when he was interviewed, he was like blushing hardcore. And he said, that's the most embarrassing moment of my golf career, is what he said, which I saw a bunch of people going crazy on Twitter being like, if that's your most embarrassing moment of a whole golf career, you're doing fucking great. You've had just an incredible run of avoiding embarrassing moments in the world of golf. So yeah, Tiger, the technology, it's not really technology, but it's like the translation here involving the technology and the screen and talking to your caddy let Tiger Woods down a little bit.
Right. Like you can see how this would happen where like I played golf today and you come up to a par 3 and I walk up there and I shoot it and it says in the rangefinder 172 yards and you turn and you say that's 72 yards. Or you say that's 72. Everybody knows it's 172 because you're in the reality. You're living in a world where you know it's not 72 yards, it's 172 yards. And I think, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus here, but I think it was his guy Robbie Mack. They ran the tape back on ESPN and he turned to Tiger and he said 99, assuming Tiger would translate it in his brain. It's 199 yards, but like you're saying, it's simulator golf. Tiger can't see it. He's just like, all right, I'm going to hit this 56 degree wedge, 99 yards, which he did. He hit it 99 yards on the button, by the way. Shout out to our guy Tiger Woods. Those wedges are dialed. But it was and then when they would run the tape back, they showed Tom Kim and Kiz talking, and they were like, I think he's got a wedge in his hand.
Why does he have a wedge?
Why has he got a wedge? And then sure enough, 99 yards, a full football field short of where he wanted to land that ball. And that's just lost in translation. That's simulator golf. It's not the real world.
No, it's spot on, and that is a very common thing in golf. You ever play with like a Ford caddy or something, they'll roll up, and as you get to your ball, they'll be like, all right, like Riggs, that one's, you got 66 there, and as a human being that can stand there, that's like a football field plus 66 yards. That's what I'm looking at. No problem. Yep. And in the simulator, you're just looking at a fucking screen, man, and that depth perception and the whole deal got Tiger a little bit. So again, that's something that would have never happened on the golf course. That got a good chuckle out of me. I also wrote down just a quick little note that New York Golf Club here with Cam Young, Matty Fitz, and Ricky Fowler is just not an electric factory out there. They're just kind of a snooze fest, Even Ricky, as popular of a player as he is, he's very quiet. He's almost like a little bit shy. He doesn't really say a whole lot out there. We love Matty Fitz. Him. In fact, one of the things that made, Matt Fitzpatrick such a great friend of the program was that it was so shocking that after he walked by, and at Bethpage and Frankie said like, that might be the only player out here that I could beat up, that he then like leaned into that, became a frequent guest on the show and listened to the show and was like, that was like so shocking because his personality is just, again, this quiet English cat who just documents every single shot he's ever hit in his entire life. He's a little bit machine-like. And then you got Cam Young, who I don't think he has a pulse. I don't think he said a single word out there. He was sort of just like killing Tiger Woods' team and not saying a word. And I was like, I don't know that TGL might just eliminate this man. Like, he is not good for the product right now. So yeah, they're just kind of a snooze fest in terms of bringing the heat.
I don't know what Cam Young's voice sounds like. I have no idea. I really don't. I don't have a clue. And you're right. And I like Matty Fitz a lot. He seems to be the most into it and the most willing to try to make his team interesting and make the product interesting. And yeah, Ricky, this has sort of been his vibe and was his vibe when we finally had him on the show during the TGL Media Day, where he's obviously got a huge fan base, really nice guy, has had an interesting career, but won't really give you a ton if like you don't force it out of him. So yeah, Matty Fitz is sort of the lead on that team, and overall, yeah, they're not bringing a ton to the table. They bring a lot of fans to the table, like Steve Cohen was there, Pete Alonso was there, CeCe Sabathia was there. Yeah, it's outside of that, it's not much of a like the Jupiter Lynx team is incredibly entertaining every single
You
week.
gotta watch them. You just have to watch
They're
them.
so
They're
good.
amazing.
Like Kisner and Tom Kim are so good, and Tiger's really into it too. And a part of that's
Yeah, he
probably
is.
that it's his league and he wants to make it interesting. But even Kisner and Tom Kim around him seems to make him feel comfortable and like very into the format. So yeah, some of these teams, and I would include the New York Golf Club in that, aren't they're not that very electric. They're not very electric at all.
No, and the Jupiter team, it's Kiz, Homa, Tom Kim have been so good at just getting Tiger to have candid reactions to stuff. Like
Yes.
him literally legitimately belly laughing for hours after Kiz shanked one off the pin out of the bunker is just the most candid. Like, Tiger's guarded. We all know that. He's media trained. We all know that. He was one of the most famous people on the planet. He went through some of the most public scrutiny in the history of anyone on the planet. So he's even more guarded. And getting him out there just truly like laughing, being embarrassed even, and just feeling like pretty, as embarrassed as he was, feeling like pretty comfortable in his own skin out there, like laughing it up with his teammates and stuff, is fucking awesome. He's not as funny as Kiz, obviously. He's not this like kind of like youthful ball of energy and innocence that like Tom Kim is. But you're right, Tiger's personalities come out quite a bit too, and just the way he interacts with these guys and stuff. So yeah, that team is must watch. Your team, really, Jupiter Lynx team, they're just phenomenal entertainment. I love those guys. They're great.
Are we the fore-play podcast going to talk about the wincing, the Tiger Woods wincing?
There's like there's we could talk. We could address it.
We can if you want.
Was there wincing going on? I could talk about like he hit some horrible shots today too that I just did not see coming. That like even in the other TGL stuff, even if they didn't win or he hit it long, it was like you could blame it on the technology. At least he flushed it. He was driving it great. Even the way he moved when he was with us, you're like, he's moving good. He's swinging good. It just might be walking up and down hills. There are a couple things that I'd love seeing from a pure physical health standpoint from Mr. Woods.
There were a couple times when I got that pit in my stomach of like, all right, let's make sure this guy gets out of here 100%. Because he didn't look 100% at times, but then there were times where he would hit good shots. Like, it actually felt late as the match got later, and maybe he was getting more loose, more stretched out. It felt as the match progressed, he got more comfortable and there was less wincing. There were a couple times early on where I was like, holy shit, like, what is he going to finish this match?
Is he going to be able to get through this match where they walk 30 yards, from the simulator to the green? No, look, it's all scary at this point. It's been scary for a decade with this man. It definitely didn't help when he drove his car off a cliff and almost had to amputate his leg. And so, yeah, I hated that. I still can't even believe when he limps, you're sort of like, God damn, it's been years now. And we've had to have that conversation with ourselves of like, that's just what it's going to be forever. But there were some scary moments today. There's no doubt about that. Some very scary moments.
It got to the point where I would never tweet like, is Tiger Woods hurt? Like, I would never do that because you're just asking for stuff that you don't want. But I did go to the Twitter search bar and I put in Tiger hurt to see if there was any scuttle on if anybody else was seeing what I was seeing. People were seeing what I was seeing.
Yeah.
But he looked fine at the end. He really did. And that's also true. Like, he hit a few good shots at the end. He wasn't wincing at all after shots. And, you just got to hope for the best.
Yeah, those last two holes that he played, I mean, I know he hit the 199 yards, but like those two singles holes that he played, he piped drivers. He had like well over 170 ball speed and hit him out there with a little cut and whatnot. So, yeah, it's better that he was fine towards the end, and not like the beginning and then he fell off. That's way better.
I agree with that. Totally.
The only other thing I wrote down is I began watching Severance.
Oh,
so did great show. Okay.
All right.
All right. We can all talk about this together. I want to say this. It is absolutely incredibly entertaining show, incredibly thought-provoking. It is the only show, I think, however, I've ever watched that I truly don't know if I can handle binge watching it. Like, I really think I can watch like 2 episodes at a time, and then I can't handle it anymore. It's like the monotonous, like depression of it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Is like,
Oh, yeah.
I literally can't handle it. I have to like remove myself from it and come back to it a different day. I've never watched a show like that maybe in my life where I really do like it. I'm into it. I'm absolutely going to finish it, but I have to turn it off after an episode or two.
I think that's super fair. And so my sister is the one who got me into this show. And I watched the first few episodes pretty quickly just because I was really into it and I wanted to get through them. But there was a point when she was like asking me a question about, oh, are you here? Have you seen, this part of it? And I texted her and I said, I got to take a break. I have to take a break because it's totally true. And it really is a show where it's an enjoyable show, but it can be a lot when you're watching a lot in a row.
Do you feel that way, Bush?
Yeah, I would also say you have to be like completely 100% locked into it. Like it's kind of a mind fuck in some aspects, especially off the rip. The first few episodes, you cannot, you got to be sitting there, and that's your goal is watch that show, like not touching my phone, whatever, because you could lose one thing and be like, wait, how the hell did that happen?
I hear that sentiment from a lot of people. Are there people out there who are watching scripted shows not fully invested?
No, but like you could watch
Yeah,
like a
I
show
do.
and like be like, oh, like I got a text. But this, I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I can't miss like a minute because I'll be like, what,
Okay.
how the hell did that happen?
I would say there's some shows that I'll watch like I watch sports, where I'm like sort of scrolling, sort of watching. And when big stuff happens, obviously I'm really locked in, but like I could go for 10 minutes where I'm not really fully paying attention. And I think to Bush's point, I don't think you can get away with that in this show. I feel like you'll be a lost puppy and you'll be like, what the fuck is going on? Like I'm not going to give anything away, but might be episode 2, maybe. That's like the dinner party scene where there's no dinner. I watched that scene 3 times back, 3 times total. So 2 times back. I watched it because the first time I wasn't fully invested. I kind of got distracted and I was like, what? And then the second time I watched it and was like, wow, that was 10 times better than I thought it was. And then I was like, I have to go back and watch that whole thing again.
And what you're going to find if you start to dabble in the Reddit world, which up to you whether or not you want to do that, you will find out that every single frame matters. Every frame in the show matters in a way that we talked about last show, where I would never have picked it up on my own if I didn't read about it. And there's just so much to it. I'm glad you're watching it though. That makes me happy.
I'm into it. I think I'm on episode 3 or 4, maybe.
Okay.
We're like on the same spot.
Right. It's a mind fuck, man. It is a mind fuck. Like, dude, when they zoom out and just show like the symmetry of the entire office building and the drive-in and the parking lot, that like fucks with my head, dude. That like gets my head. I like can't handle that almost. I get like the heebie-jeebies when they do that.
Yeah. No, it's a really interesting show, and it's only in its second season. It's very popular. I think it's going to keep going, so it's only going to get weirder.
You're
wait. Still so early on, dude.
I'm going to watch it right now. It's like nighttime. We're wrapping this up, and then I'm going to shower. I'm going to brush my teeth, and I'm going to watch an episode or 2, and I'm pretty excited about it.
I have an update from last show. 5 sneezes today.
Wow.
I was hoping for this.
5 sneezes today.
We got some golf to play, Trent. Jesus Christ.
Dude, I think counting your sneezes, you will uncover that you sneeze way more than you realize. Because I think on the last show we said maybe 10 sneezes a week. That would be the over-under. I'm going to crush that over.
Is it because you're going through a little cold, or you think this is normal?
No, I felt fine today. The first thing I did when I woke up this morning was sneeze, and I don't know if that's a thing that I normally do, and I just haven't been aware of it. Now I'm hyper aware of it, but I think it's going to be way more sneezes than I realized. And I did play today, and I made a couple of pars, so it's But right now, the sneezes are definitely winning.
I will say I noticed last night and this morning I sneezed a couple times. I probably logged like 3 or 4 sneezes since we did the last show, which is more than I would have thought. Way more.
I even wrote them all down. I wrote them down and I wrote the timestamp of when they happened. Because I started this morning and I woke up and I sneezed a couple of times, and I was like, "Oh, that's got to be the only sneezes I'll have today." And then, sure enough, I sneezed a couple more times a couple hours later. So I'm fully I'm fully committing to like figuring out if I sneeze or if I make more pars in a year.
It's going to be close, man. I just don't think it's going to be even close for me. I just play too much golf. It's not that I'm good. It's not that I make a ton of pars. It's just like,
Yeah.
I just play so much golf that I would have to sneeze my dick off. Like, you've been sneezing a lot. I feel like you've sneezed 5 times the last day. It's like, if I just play a couple rounds of golf, I'm going to blow that out of the water. And I would have to just I feel like I would have a hernia. I would just be sneezing so much if I beat my par number.
I'm very curious. I hope I can keep recording them, because it's going to be an interesting experiment. Yeah. If you had asked me when I went to bed last night, how many times are you going to sneeze tomorrow? I would have said probably 0. And I'm at 5.
How about I bought a new hockey stick online today. You know, I got when you get to like not high school you still got to pretty much pay. When you get to college, it's like really nice and all your equipment's like paid for. Same with like golf, same with all that shit. And hockey sticks, I haven't really bought a hockey stick probably in like 20 years, dude. I bought this bad boy online, and the reason I did it, I have 2 sticks left from like my arsenal that I had like after school, whatever. And I have one that I really like the curve and the feel and the whole deal. So I like looked to see if I could find any that are almost identical online. I don't even know if they made it anymore. They do. And I was like, I'm going to buy one for reserve so that when I inevitably break this one playing online, with shipping and taxes, $394 for a hockey stick.
Wow. I almost wish you would have let me guess, because I don't know what I would have guessed on like, how much did I pay for this hockey stick? I think I might have said, like $78 or something.
Yeah. Reasonable.
How much is the stick itself?
$350, I think, is what it was listed. I'm like,
shit, man. That's
hockey?
Serious dough.
Then another $20 with tax and another $20 for shipping, or whatever the hell it was. Like, is that insanity? Insanity. I could not believe when I saw that. And I knew they were more expensive, but there was a moment, like when I grew up playing, we used wooden hockey sticks. And then there was a moment when they came out with like the graphite sticks for the first time. And it was like the Synergy. It was the Synergy, the silver stick, gray silver stick, was like $100, I believe, is what it was. And that was the first time ever where it was like, holy fuck, this stick's $100. But they were supposed to be like unbreakable, and they came with like basically no questions asked, like replacement warranty within like a year. So if you broke your stick, you could just ship it into like Easton, and they would just send you back a new one. So it was like $100. Right. You get a couple sticks. They don't really break, especially if you're young at that point, whatever the hell I was, 12 years old. It's not like you're breaking hockey sticks that often. It takes like a long time. As you get older, you start taking slap shots. You're a lot stronger. Sticks break a lot more. I did not expect $350, Trent. I saw that and I was like, what the fuck? $350 for a hockey stick?
Damn, that's crazy.
I know.
Our NHL players very particular about, is there like it almost reminds me of like samurai swords, like where there's one guy who makes all the samurai swords. Is there one guy that everybody trusts to make their hockey sticks?
Not necessarily a guy, but there are curves. So like they obviously take the pattern of a player, and a lot of the top players, especially back in the day, would sort of have they would work with a stick company and they would create their own curve. So like Joe Sakic, for example, who absolute stud from the Quebec Nordiques and then the Colorado Avalanche, won the Stanley Cup when Ray Bourque went there, the whole deal. Joe Sakic was like the guy. And the Sakic curve was like the curve growing up that everybody wanted. And you could get, there's like different styles of curves. There's like a toe curve, more of a heel curve, whatever, depending on your style. Defensemen usually use a little bit different type curves because they're not like shooting wrist shots and trying to get the puck up high real quick. They're more just sitting back there, like Ryan Whitney always says, like, I completed too many tape passes to be doing this or that. It's like you're kind of passing the puck, so you want the puck to come off a little bit flatter or whatever. But they kind of model curves after, like, they try to basically get big players to do a certain curve, like Ovechkin's had one forever, whatever. So anyways, I found this curve that I really like, so that's why I got a couple sticks after it too. But dude, people would get crazy with it. People would put their stick over the stove, and then you get it really warm, and then you can manipulate the curve yourself if you really want to.
Oh.
So some people would get really particular with that.
I've got one more update from the last show, and then we can wrap this thing up. Scott Lang tweeted at me a couple hours ago. He said, in regard to Trevor saying, after someone makes a good point, my wife is from South Africa, and her dad and some other family members do it all the time, too. It's a South African thing.
Wow.
So when a South African person is in the presence of someone making a good point, apparently they go, So maybe, Trevor's bringing that to the booth, though, for sure.
It's heritage. It's like he grew up with that, and he's putting his little South African touch on the broadcast. I like it.
Yeah, me too.
It's good information. All right. Well, I believe that's it. Nice show. We got a lot to talk. We spoke about a lot. We got the whole London breakdown, which you can get a little bit more of, Trent Daddy, when you come, upon the next show. But I think that's all I have for today. So big thanks, to our sponsors, to everybody behind the scenes, to everybody who listens. Obviously, you make it all worth it. And we'll be back next week. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.